Okay, you have control. I don't know. We may need to open up another session with your stuff. Or you can email them to me. All right. I've got to get that to my. Sorry. Oops. Hang on. There it is. Okay, you can take it. No, I'll just make one. You want me to make one? I've got to minimize this deal here. Okay, so we'll go walls. I don't know what happened to my walls. How do I get my walls to maybe just put this out? There they are. Oops. Okay, that's good enough. Oh, do I need to save that job? Oh, okay. Doesn't here, just call it German. That okay? Okay. Okay. Do you have it running on your computer? Would you like to just make a video and show it, like a 10-minute video, and I'll flip it over to you and let you show it on your computer, and then I can show it to them. I mean, I can just give you control or pass it to you, and then you can be the presenter.
Have to figure out whether my data is correct. So I start to make a plan view. All right. Okay, now this is my plan view, and let me try my annotation principle. Okay. Yeah, here it seems to work. Now, these are now inserted in one-to-one scaling. And with this combo box here, I can adjust the scale for the plan view here. And what you see here, these are the annotation blocks for the sub-articles underneath the work surface. Okay, now what I did here, the principles are one for plan view, where you get all the base and tall cabinets. You have the wall cabinets and all other cabinets annotated with the article position number and the article name here. And then I have a fourth line here for the contours, where these lines for the article contours are generated. And then I have another principle for plan view, where I set up all special contours, like for corner cabinets or all articles that are not rectangular. So I can use this one, and now I got my corner cabinet here also. Okay, now I'm going to a elevation. Okay, here we go. Now, because I want to use annotation here, I turn the colorization off. Okay, now let's try the principle for elevations. Okay, now you can see here again, I have my annotation for the articles with position number. I have the veneer panels here, and also purchased parts here. And I'm able to annotate something like adjustable shelves with a fixed text, for example, or the work surface here. And this is all set up here with the principle. Okay, and the last thing, or the last example for annotation is for a section. No, this is, oh, let me delete it again. Okay. Now the last example principle here is for sections. Let's have a look. Here you see I have parts annotated like bottom shelves, fixed shelf, and then I have drawer fronts and the hinges and pulls annotated with some lines to the objects. And also this can be set up here with the principle for each parts via conditions.
And basically, you can have as many annotation principles as you want on any of those, right?
Right. I can put some more principles on this one if I created some. Yeah.
Okay.
And also the annotation objects here, these are simple DWG files. So you can create everything on your own. I can show you this. Let's open. Should work. Now, for example, this one is just an EMOS attribute for the part name, and then it's just a drawn line with some point, for example. This is how this blocks look.
Okay.
And then it is placed here to the position.
What you've done is you said put the part name, and then whatever the part name is, it pulls it in from the database and substitutes it, correct?
Right.
So every one of those.
So you can draw a symbol or something around here as you wish, and then this DWG file will be placed right here, and the EMOS attribute in the DWG block will be filled.
Do you have full control over the fonts that are being used?
Over what? Over the fonts?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can define the font you want to use.
Okay.
So if I go here again, this here, you can change color, you can change the font style here.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
Now, how would you bring in a detail, a joint detail that's already drawn somewhere else?
Therefore, you would need to create a DWG file where you draw the detail, and then you would create a condition for the part to figure out, okay, this part should get that detail. So, for example, if I click here, this part, you can use the part definition or a comment field or anything where you can fill on, figure out information, and then you can create a condition in the annotation principle. For example, this one here. And then you can say something like part name, part definition. I think the comment fields, and then you could say something like detail A or something you want to link with. And now if I would, let's take this here. Let's now this is a condition I just created. Let's take some block here. I have to create one first that we see what's happening. Okay, now I just draw a circle or something. Save. And now assign the new block here. And now let's have a look. Now, as you can see, for this part where I put the information detail A here, the block I created is placed here.
Okay.
So you can control near anything via these conditions and the fields you can put on parts and articles when and where an annotation should be placed.
Okay. Okay. The bottom line is that do you know of anything that somebody would need that this system cannot do?
Yeah, it's this method works with, or you have to configure it on the need of the customer. Let's say it like this. So the data for the articles, it's the important thing on that, if you build up your annotation principles.
Yes.
Now this one here, these are more or less database. Yeah, there's no constraint to database, because if you have a look here on the conditions, the conditions is working not on info fields or something, but on the article insertion points. So articles that are inserted less in Z less than 250, then this is in base unit, and the annotation will be placed underneath this article. Now, for example, the wall units here, if you have a look on this condition, then for all units with an insertion point greater than 790, then the annotation will be placed on the top of the articles. So the principle we have in our delivery database are more or less are working on any database. But if you want to make some special things, or yeah, like you said, special details, then you really have to think what is the customer's database look like, which fields do the customer needs to analyze, and then make some conditions to put their annotation.
Okay. Very good. One other thing that I found to be pretty amazing with this is that you can have parametric annotations based on characteristics of the article. For example, if it's over X amount of width, it'll put a separate annotation in, or it can say one thing, and then if it's not the same width or height or something like that, it can automatically annotate.
This is for example these annotation blocks here. These are so-called dynamic blocks, and if you have a look on this one, then you see that this is parametric. So EMOS submits the article depth and width, and this rectangle will react on this. So you can have a large article or small article, and this rectangle will automatically fit to the size. This is just one example for annotation, for dynamic blocks. You could also use IMOS variables to show that this is just one drawer box or two or three and so on.
Okay.
But the setup takes a while, so it's you have to. Right now, we just have this as an example for dynamic blocks.
Okay. All right. Well, you've been most helpful. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I'm going to stop